Alexis Lafreniere is the best QMJHL player since Sidney Crosby. And this is weird, because for the most part, Crosby played his last season in the QMJHL before playing in the NHL. And Lafreniere is pretty much doing exactly the same thing. In between the span of Crosby and Lafreniere, there hasn't been a single overage player or player in general who has had a higher points per game than Sidney Crosby or Lafreniere. Now, the only exception to this is actually Cedric Paré, who is Alexis Lafreniere's line mate, who is at the exact same amount of points and the same amount of games played as Lafreniere, but Paré is 20, so he is not exactly in the same conversation. But let's take a look at it right here. Lafreniere is doing so amazingly well in the QMJHL that if you go to QMJHL players in general, this is not U18, this is not whatever, this is just all of them. From 2004-2005 up until now, it goes Crosby with 168 points in 62 games for a 271 points per game. Then it's Paré, and then it's Lafreniere, and then it's everybody else. Radulov, Drouin, Kovanov, Drouin. There are some pretty good players on this list. But Lafreniere is legitimately establishing himself as the best QMJHL player since Crosby, because he's the reason that Paré and Dmitry Zavgorodny are getting points. So it's easy to see the common theme here. Lafreniere is pretty much the best point driver on that team. And if you want to go from all-time records for U19 players in general from the start of 2000, Lafreniere is the best besides Crosby. Drouin is there, Crosby is there again, Drouin, Pierre-Marc Bouchard, Brandon Reed, Derek Brassard. There are a few other guys here, but Lafreniere is pretty much the best QMJHL prospect since Crosby. And I don't think it's disputable at this point. Who's going to beat Lafreniere? Dubois? No. Nico Hischier? No. None of these guys are going to be better than Lafreniere. In fact, Alexis Lafreniere, if you go over his point log, go over the games that he's played, Lafreniere has played 17 total games in the QMJHL this year. He's had 3 or more points in 9 of them. Literally more than half of the games that Lafreniere has played, he gets 3 or more points. He's had a few 4-point games. He's had a few 5-point games. Lafreniere has been amazing, and I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. It's even more challenged with the fact that Lafreniere is a winger. He's doing all this from the wing. He's not a center. He doesn't play in that position primarily. And he's been the one who changes the game at such an incredible pace that he just makes everybody around him so much better. His 2 line mates are doing so incredibly well, and they're at the top of the leaderboards too for QMJHL points. It's needless to say, but Lafreniere and Paré are both tied for first in the league in points right now. But Lafreniere is giving us more reasons, more highlights, and more showcases as to why he is the best NHL prospect since McDavid. I say the best since McDavid because he is the best player of that caliber. I'm not saying that he is equal to McDavid. I am saying that he is better than Eichel. He was better than Matthews. He's better than Hischier. He's better than Jack Hughes. He's better than Dahlin. Lafreniere is that good. And in terms of the QMJHL, he's the best since Crosby. So those are some of the numbers right now. You can go into Twitter, you can find people posting GIFs of Alexis Lafreniere highlights. So many amazing plays that kid does, setting up guys from behind the back, really nice passes, stretch passes, nice snipes here and there. He does everything on the ice at such an elite level. He's going to be a game changer at this game, and the World Juniors, he's going to make that World Junior team. He's going to have a better role on that team. He might be the best player on the World Juniors. He might be one of the best undrafted prospects in the World Junior since the guys like Capo Kakko and Laine and Puljujärvi. I don't doubt that he's got the opportunity to be better, even though he's on Team Canada, which should, traditionally speaking, be more older guy oriented. So we'll see for that, and when it comes, we will be paying attention for sure. But as for right now, Lafreniere has just been giving us so many reasons to talk about him in the QMJHL. He's the best QMJHL'er since Crosby, period, among undrafted, drafted, and overage players. He is in a league of his own. compared to the other NHL draftees right now. And in fact, that's not even completely fair to say. I mean, I would be surprised if somebody overtook Lafreniere for that first overall spot, but I can't say I wouldn't expect it. Byfield is really good. Raymond's gotten off to a slow start. Tim Stützle has been rising up the ranks like crazy. Holtz, he's a guy. Gunler, he's a great guy. And there are some other really good players too, like Yaroslav Askarov, who could potentially be a sleeper top 2, 3, 4, 5 pick as well. So we'll be looking forward to that, but for now, Lafreniere is number 1. Hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.